right, so the 2025 power rankings are out, and maybe we're sort of masochistic to even look at something like this, because how do you even rank teams? You know, for example, they have the Astros ranked ahead of the Rangers, and then put even in the data, the little blurb about it. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen with Alex Bregman. Well, I have to think if Alex Bregman decides to sign elsewhere, that might change where the Astros rank just a little bit. So it's an exercise in fun and futility.
And getting web clicks.
I was about to say, guys, it's like November.
Click. But it frankly, it makes my blood boil just a little bit. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. They have the Rangers ranked. The Rangers. This is the team that won the World Series in 2023, and the Rangers rank 17th in the 2025 MLB Power Rankings. That's not the worst part. They rank 3rd in the American League West again.
That's just rude.
And they do say in their little blurb about the Rangers on MLB, they say, and don't forget, they've got Jacob deGrom coming back. I'm like, did you forget? Don't you forget? Did you forget that when you made your rankings? I think they're going to be a slightly different team this year. And we know, obviously, we're much closer to it. We know more than they do anyway. But that seemed way unnecessarily low to me to have the, once removed World Series champions that really haven't lost that much at 17.
But here's the thing. Even when the Rangers won the World Series, MLB did not give them their flowers.
True.
In comparison to and I understand this was the biggest World Series that we were going to see, the Dodgers. But heck, when Shohei Ohtani hit 50-50, do you know how many videos and posts was in that day alone? It was literally 20. And then it's just even their verbiage of the Texas Rangers are the 2024 or 2023 World Series champions, Yeah. And then when it's the Dodgers, Freddie Freeman, oh my, all caps, all exclamations. So it's they're a bias. They're biased towards the big market teams anyway. I mean, they're not going to say
you go get your clicks. I mean, we're guilty of putting our Ohtani mentions on the YouTube channel and doing great with them. Good job by the Prophet.
Yeah, the Prophet's killing it over there.
But okay. Look at the Rangers. What do they lose? They lose Evaldi. That's a big one. They lose Yates and Robertson to free agency. That hurts. But then you look, the core is all back. It really is.
It is. That's what I mean.
Everybody, and then it wasn't a great 2024 offensively, but 2023, 2022, there's some track record here to believe that it's going to be better. And don't forget DeGrom. Well, Jesus.
How do we forget?
Come on.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, which he appeared to be in those last 3 starts, and he wasn't happy really with any of those starts.
No.
And he's giving up a run, and it's just he has such a high bar there. But there are some things that need to get accomplished this offseason. And, re-signing Evaldi, I know a lot of people with the organization look at it beyond just a guy who's going to pitch every 5th day, but the guy who holds the pitching staff together is kind of the glue, the pro, the guy who goes there, their go-to guy. So, yeah, I think that's a big one. You probably can find somebody to close out games, but gosh, you want a guy who's been there.
Sure.
And that's this. I've told John Daniels this before. He didn't necessarily believe in that. Although, you had Feliz, then Feliz wanted to be a starter, so they went and got Joe Nathan, and that worked out real well.
It did.
But then who are the closers after that? It's a long list of guys who, either flamed out or just moved to a different role, later in their careers, and so you gotta have a guy. You just got to, in my opinion.
And it's it really does speak to how that position more than any. And nobody knows this better than Abby or more specifically her dad. That position more than any is about mentality. So when you get, Sean Tallison, who's a wonderful guy and did a great job for a short period of time as the closer for the Texas Rangers, all of a sudden you just realize there's a mentality thing that you have to have that wasn't necessarily present there. Look, Jose Leclerc falls into that category. Does Jose Leclerc have that killer instinct mentality to, be out there and in that situation every single day. We can tell by his body language when he goes out there if he's not feeling it. And I remember way back when I was doing interviews with guys, I think it was before the 23 season at spring training, and we're just talking about walk-up songs. And a couple of guys said to me, hey, talk to Piku about that crappy song he's picked. And it's a beautiful Christian, soft lullaby almost
Melody.
in Spanish. So I don't really know what it is. But they were just like, oh, my God, how do you walk out to that, right? Whereas, you get what was Will Smith's thing was like Ted Nugent, he comes out to Ted Nugent, got you in a stranglehold, baby, or whichever one it was.
My dad had a thing of like pushing the gate out, and one time he like pushed it off the hinge.
Did he really?
Yeah. It was
It's
kind
just
of
like,
funny.
well, of course, Tiger Stadium was falling apart at
Right,
the end.
right.
So, but still, and
You got to do something to boost the morale. Though.
yeah, and I love actually that your dad he usually used Christian music himself, right?
Yeah, he had Mercy Me write him a song towards the latter.
Yeah,
part
but
of his
we know
career.
Mercy Me. They're big Ranger fans and big friends of the Rangers, and I'm sure they
Good
had
buddies.
one that was just a little more upbeat than Piku's, Jose Leclerc's was, which was just really soft and beautiful. And the guys are like, "Come on, man!"
Yeah.
Hey, maybe
but
he needed
it
some
speaks
zen.
to that mentality that I'm talking about, Jeff.
Well, yeah, and Kirby Yates, guy in the clubhouse who's very approachable and talks a lot and laid back, and his song was the One Love thing, the Bob Marley song, right?
yeah,
I always got distracted that the lights went
the
down.
fans would do the lights, so they had a
Yeah.
thing about it, so
Yeah.
it was kind of cool that way.
Yeah.
And it really spoke to who he is as a person. And Jose Leclerc, man of his faith and everything, but like Brian Wilson and Mario Rivera came out to Sandman, right? By Metallica. I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
Get some death metal in there.
yeah.
And let them have it. But it's
And what
it does
is
take
the
a
song?
mindset.
Edwin Diaz. I mean, it's a whole thing.
The trumpet guy.
Yeah. Edwin Diaz would, and the Mets in those days, the SNY is their sort of bally up there. They wouldn't go to commercial break between the 8th and the 9th inning when Edwin was coming out because it was such a production, pushing the doors open like your dad and all that stuff, right? They put those commercials elsewhere so that the viewers could enjoy what Edwin Diaz was doing coming out of the bullpen when he was going to pitch the 9th inning of a game. So
Yeah, you really do have to tap into like a very different mentality
yes.
because you genuinely have to believe you're the baddest pitcher on the planet.
Yeah.
And I don't care who's at the plate. I know my stuff. I've got to get you out. I mean, you don't have room for error. You don't have zero margin for error.
Yeah.
So you can't talk yourself out of anything. You genuinely have to be very delusional and
Right.
believe in yourself.
and
like-
have that short
like
memory.
no
But
other.
but if you're warming up and you're like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. At least they know how to navigate, how to get around an inning, how to find an out.
yeah.
Whereas if a young guy comes out and is just like, well, I can't do anything. I'm just going to throw it as hard as I can. Walk, 3 walks or 2 walks, and then you
Groove
throw
one.
a cookie
Yeah, I
and the
mean,
game's over.
Yeah.
So
I talked to Leiter about that, like specifically, because he said that's a big adjustment, starting in the pin. I mean, there's just you have a lot more time and you can gauge things a little bit better and you can adjust and react, and you don't have that luxury when you're in the pin.
No.
You'll get pulled.
but got to
Yeah.
have that experience.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's such a great teacher. And again, to the point about that revolving door that the Rangers had for a while, I think sometimes it just came down to a mentality. It's like, yeah, I've got the stuff, I've got the ability. I just don't have that short memory and that ability every day to, I think it was Wash that used to say, or maybe it was Banny, wash it off.
Yeah,
right?
wash.
Was it Wash? Yeah.
Let it wash down the drain. Take a shower.
You
let it
got to
wash
take
down
a
the
shower
drain.
and wash it off, and you just wash off yesterday, no matter what happened. And again, even Feliz was unable to wash it off. What happened in Game 6? God,
Yeah,
forbid in,
right.
in 2011, right? He couldn't, and that's why they couldn't use him
Right.
after that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of one of those untold stories about that game, or it's been told or forgotten. But he didn't go. He didn't go back out because he was a
He
wreck.
Yep. He was a wreck.
So they had to go with Darren Oliver and
Yeah.
Scott Feldman, you know, and yeah, of course he would have liked Feliz to be out there, but instead of being like, all right, I'm going to go and I'm not screwing this one up, you know, this time, or I'm ready to go back out there. It was like he was inconsolable.
Right. And especially after Josh Hamilton had given the Rangers the lead again, it's like, oh, man, send Feliz back out there. And, you know, he's got, you know, triple digits doing this, you know, going over the strike zone and rising up. Okay, cool. We got this. And God bless him.
I know this just puts like last year's team into perspective. I mean, we know the injuries, of course, but the Rangers, they had the 4th highest innings pitched out of the relief, 4th most in club history. You guys want to guess how many?
Innings?
Yeah. Innings that they got from their bullpen in 2024.
800.
604.
Okay.
And that's 4th
That's a little
most.
high.
4th most.
Oh, that's 4th most.
Yeah.
And do they show what the others were or no?
Yeah. 641 in 2022, 630 in 2019, and 625 in 2021.
Wow.
So in the last 6 years.
Last 4 or 5
But
years. Yeah.
2021 and 2022 may have been by design of those rebuilding years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I think it just goes to show the importance of those low risk, high reward, the importance of, you know, not the poster boy, but you need the in between guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
As much as you need the closer.
And all this is to say the Rangers are ranked too low in the 2025 power rankings at 17 and 3rd in the American League West.
They've got some stuff to figure out, but I think there's a few names on the team alone. Just bump it up a bit more.
Yeah,
you know?
no doubt about it.
We
And
should
again,
make our own.
Nobody can really concern. What's that?
He tuned in. What'd you say?
I just said we should make our own rankings.
Maybe we will. I
Maybe
like
we
that,
will.
Prophet.
Sounds like work.
You would have to look into the National League.
Yeah, I don't know that
And
league
we
at
don't-
all.
we
Yeah,
don't
and
know
by
if
the
we can
way,
get that from
I
Jeff.
think at least
Dodgers won. All right, I got that one.
I think the first 3 or 4 maybe in the MLB one were NL teams. It was certainly the
Okay.
Dodgers, then the Braves. You know,
Phillies
again,
probably.
Phillies were
Mets,
up
maybe,
there.
who knows?
Yeah, it's
And-
like playoffs, copy
Yeah.
paste. Like
Yeah,
you guys did great work.
Then I think the Yankees. You know, I mean, so anyway.
We all silly like the mayor.